A very good and festive morning to you all. Here in Poole Bus Station today, we're doing something that I did say I'd do in the 32 video. We're having a quick look at this year's Christmas routes, obviously being Christmas Day, that being the M1, which will have a short time lapse as we've already done the M1 in a full video. The M2, which will finally get its debut, but we can only do the normal run instead of the Christmas run because it's different. And of course, the short 5. So join me as we go for a festive ride on the Moore buses. Time to roll the intro. Now, I know we're starting halfway through the M1, but if you were to catch it all the way from the beginning of the route, you will go through Bournemouth Hospital, Castle Point, Charminster, Bournemouth Railway Station, then into Lansdowne, Bournemouth Square, and to where we are now, heading towards into Westbourne, Branksome, Parkstone, Lower Parkstone, and then into Poole past the hospital. Now, we've already done an episode on the M1. In fact, we've done two, one in Season 1 and the end of Season 2. So I didn't think we'd need to do the full time-lapse in this video, plus pressed for time as it was with the other two routes. Now, I shall leave you to it, and we'll see you back at the bus station. Now, obviously being here at the bus station today does mean we are fully starting the video off in Poole. The time lapse you would have just seen is the M1's route from Bournemouth to Poole. Now, the M1 is running on Christmas Day. That is running on an hourly timetable, obviously. When I do stop for the M2, I will give all of the information of what times the bus M1s and M2s are running. Now, obviously the M2 is running on Christmas Day, but it's doing something different than its normal route. It's actually following the N2's route, which is the night version of the M2. So instead of terminating at Southbourne Crossroads, this will take you all the way up to Two Rivers Meet, and then back again, running hourly. Now, it's quite nice that more buses are running a service on Christmas Day. I know it's becoming a more and more common thing as years go by, as more and more people seem to need to work on Christmas, and it just helps people that don't drive to go and see family or to go and see loved ones. What they used to do is what I like to used to call the Hospital Connect. For a time, the M2 on Christmas Day connected to Christchurch Hospital instead of going into the town centre, and the M1, when it was only running as far as Castle Point, was extended to Bournemouth Hospital. But obviously now that's the normal route. So without any further ado, we are going to go and find an M2, ride it all the way to Southbourne. There's even a 60 coming in. And a nice surprise, an omnidecker in Poole bus station. Something we don't see very often anymore, but let's go for a nice ride on the M2. And it wouldn't be Christmas without his Lord and Saviour, Lord, Mr. Robbie Bartle. Morning, madam.
Morning, madam.
Should we get a photo for your page?
Yeah.
Now, if you aren't aware, Lord Bartle has a page called Spot the Bartle. So if you see him, take a picture, upload it to the page. And now we finally get onto the M2. I know for one of the major routes on Moorbus, it has taken us quite a while to get round to it, but alas, we are finally here, and we're doing it for Christmas, so we'll get a full episode for the M2 eventually. But for today's video, this journey will take you from Poole, past the hospital, towards Upper Parkstone, Branksome, Westbourne, then into Bournemouth, Lansdowne, Boscombe, Folkestone, and then finally through Southbourne up to the crossroads. Now, as I have mentioned before, and I will mention after, this is not the full route for the Christmas Day running. Now, the Christmas Day running will take you on past Southbourne Crossroads, down through Tuckton, onto Christchurch High Street, and then to Two River Meet before turning around and coming back towards Poole. Now, the M2 is one of the routes that was originally brought in back in the mid-2000s along with the M1. As before these routes were introduced, there was about 5 or 6 different routes that ran between Bournemouth and Poole, with some going off towards Castle Point and some going off towards Christchurch, so they decided to amalgamate them into the main 2 routes, but we'll get more into that when we finally get around to doing an M2 video, but we will do it in the other direction so you don't have to watch the same time lapse twice. But I digress, and I shall leave you and see you at the crossroads. Now here at the end of the route at Southbourne Crossroads, obviously got off at the stop behind me, and if you're going the other way, you're on where that M2 is just parked there, and the buses go round on the turning route. Now, timetable information for the Christmas routes. So for the M1 and the M2, they're running hourly. Your first M1 off the Pool bus station is the 7:56 departure, and your first M2 is the 8:27 departure, with the last ones being for the M1, the 7:56 in the evening and the 8:27 in the evening off of the bus station. And in the opposite direction from the hospital at Bournemouth for the M1, it is 8:10 in the morning, and your first M2 actually goes from here, from Southbourne Crossroads on Christmas Day at 8:45, and the second one from Two Rivers Meet at 9:34, obviously every hour, and the last one from the hospital is 8:10 in the evening, and your last M2 is also going from Two Rivers Meet at 8:34 p.m. Now normally if you are catching the M1, the M2 or the 5, you will need a Zone A ticket. And obviously the fare information will be in the description below, as you should know it by now, it was on the last one. But as for Christmas Day, you will need to get a single, which is £3, or a return, which is £6. Now I do believe concession passes are valid on the Christmas Day services. Obviously if I'm wrong, please check local information, check morebus.co.uk, and obviously the local council site. But I'm now going to hop over to Cherries Drive, and we'll take a ride on the 5. See you at Red Hill. So behind me is the Cherries Drive bus stop, and new for the 2025 Christmas season, the 5 will be calling here this year, and the 5 is running. But it's only running between Cherries Drive and Bournemouth Square. So if you need to catch it this holiday season, your first one off of Bournemouth Square is the 10:05, your last one is the 8:05, and if you need to catch it from here, your first one is the 9:35 in the morning, and your last one is 7:35 in the evening. Now they are running an hourly service, so 1 hour on those times. Now, the one thing I was wondering when I heard about this, why, as the M2 it's following its night variant, the M1 is covering its night, but they're the same. Why wouldn't the 5 cover it? Obviously I don't make the routes, just my thoughts on it. But we are going to go and hop on, so you can see just where the 5 goes. Obviously you've seen it going the other way before, but let's see where it will take you into town. Let's jump on. Now the 5 definitely feels like one of those routes we just keep coming back to, but that's because there's always something new with it. For a route that's been around since the 60s, it has gone through quite a few changes over the years, going from yellows to more, and obviously now running on Christmas Day. This route is always full of surprises, and coming through Winton now, you will recognise the main core through here. Obviously when we usually travel through Winton, we are heading in the opposite direction, but for a change we're heading towards town today, as we're about to turn left on to Alma Road. This route will take you all the way from Red Hill through Winton, Winton Banks, Alma Road, Charmiston, Cemetery Junction, Bournemouth train station, Lansdowne, and then finally into the square. Now, obviously you guys know where we're going, so there's no point for me to waffle on, and we'll see you in the square. And now we're back here in Bournemouth Square, obviously central hub. So the stand are for Christmas Day will be where that 5 is parked there. Obviously, if you want to go to Poole, you've got the V stand here. And if you're going to Bournemouth Hospital, you want P stand, Southbourne and Christchurch will be on O stand. Basically just their normal stands. But unfortunately that is all I have time for today. I do hope you've enjoyed this very festive episode of On the Moor Buses, and from myself, everyone here from the On the Moor Buses crew and at Loco Shed Media, just want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you in 2026. Been Aaron as Jack, and we'll see you later.
You see so many on the buses, you won't be sitting on your own. It's so romantic on the buses, you'll find it thrilling when you ride, and you can get it on the buses, upstairs or down inside. Oh, it's a great life on the buses, no matter what the time of day. You'll see the world